Is it?
This one. Is that one? This is kicking ass. We're already ruined.
Jump into some audience questions. If anyone has a question in the audience, go ahead and line up with the microphone right here. We'll go ahead and just jump right into you guys.
Here we go. Go. Oh, not you.
It's me.
For fuck's sake. I mean, it's y'all been crazy today, by the way. I'm telling you that right now. It's so good to be here. Is everybody having a good time today?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So, the question.
All right, here we go.
So, the question is, when is Zombies versus Ninjas coming out?
Oh, man, thank you very much for asking that. Actually, for those of you that don't know, I actually wrote a movie a couple years ago, and it is actually on the verge of going into production. We start pre-production in April, and we're going to shoot mid-June to mid-July. The movie's called Zombie versus Ninja, and it is exactly what I fucking did. I'm really stoked. We have director. I'm going to do it, the score with Clown and Roy Mayorga. Tom Savini is doing most of the effects. Yeah, Mike Mendez is directing, which is going to be fucking rad. And yeah, we just got picked up by a company out of Canada called Crank. And I'm fucking stoked, man. So I'm really excited. So yeah, this is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I'm getting to check this off my fucking bucket list. So it's gonna be rad.
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
This is a Slipknot related question.
Yes.
My question is, what is the most meaningful Slipknot song to you?
Oh fuck, dude. I mean, there's a few, to be honest. Obviously certain songs like take me to different places. You know, there's songs like Snuff that take me places. There's songs like Vermilion. There's the crazier ones like Disaster Beast that tap into the shit that we all kind of went through. You know, I'm pretty sure we all grew up the same fucking way, just dealing with horse shit from crappy humans. And this is. So I don't know, man. It all kind of depends. They all mean something to me. They just mean different things. And I'm honestly just happy that they mean something to everybody here. So yeah, it changes from day to day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello.
Hi.
It's okay, trust me, I understand more than you know. Every time I walk up and there's a sound check and they put the mic here, and I'm like, yeah, thanks, dicks! Fucking bring it down.
Who's your favorite person you've collaborated with?
Oh man, I mean, first of all, I'm pretty lucky to have collaborated with a lot of different fucking people. Somebody was just talking about today with Tech Nine. Getting to work with him was so fucking rad. It's not only just from the fact that he's from the Midwest and he grew up kind of listening to Slipknot and whatnot, but just the fact that to watch him, he has built that from the ground up and has done it all on his own, his way, and to be a part of that legacy is fucking rad. So Tech was rad. Getting to do something with Zach Wild was really cool. And that guy is a fucking character, man. Like, I sent him the song because I tracked it in Vegas, and he sends me. He's all about sending these weird like self-shot like iPhone videos, and he's got the big Viking fucking beard. He's just. It's so fucking strange, but I mean, I've pretty much gotten to work with almost everybody I've ever wanted to, and getting to work with the newer generation. I just did a song with a band called Horror, who I don't know if you guys know them, but they're an amazing fucking band. Their new album comes out March 14th, and I did a song on there called Bite My Face, or Bite Your Face, I think. And it's super heavy, but it's dark as shit. It's really cool. It's really cool. I think people are gonna dig it. So, I'm still lucky enough to do it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What's up, dude? Now you're gonna have to bend down. See, it's the opposite problem.
There's another day.
Leave the mic down.
Yeah, exactly. Don't eat it. It's fine.
I just want to say off the back end that you fucking rock, man. I mean,
Is that a question?
take it how you want to, man. But my actual question is, what was your motivation or what was your influence growing up that made you want to start doing this kind of music?
Oh man, fuck. I mean, I don't know. To be honest, it was a little bit of everything. Because I mean, I mainly grew up a punk kid. You know, I got into metal because of the heavier side of the metal, like especially with thrash and stuff. Like I liked heavy metal, but because of just how gnarly I was in my head, it was never heavy enough. You know, so I got into like the faster side of punk and hardcore, especially early '80s hardcore, like Minor Threat, Black Flag, and then when I discovered, honestly, the Big Four, thrash metal changed my fucking life. I mean, Metallica. That's all I have to say is Metallica. The first 4 Metallica albums are so fucking good, it's criminal. You know, like they should be on the side of a mountain. You know, like fucking Mount Rushmore. Those 4 albums, just those covers, chiseled into fucking rock. Like they're that good. You know, and that just changed the way I looked at music. You know, but there were so many other different like stepping stones, you know, like growing up on early '80s hip hop, which had so much more of like a punk feel to me. You know, it was so real that you could feel it. You know, you understood what they were talking about. And then, you know, getting into what was called college rock, but later became alternative. You know, that darker essence of those beautiful fucking melodies. All of that really kind of made me what I was right up until I joined Slipknot. And I was able to take all of those really gnarly, dark influences and just kind of try to create my own voice, you know? And I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a band called Acid Bath, straight up. That band, Dax Riggs is one of the greatest singers ever, and it's criminal how underappreciated he is. So, he was one of the ones that I really looked to, and you know, people like Mike Patton, obviously, just like those were the people that I looked to for my inspiration.
All right, man, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Corey.
What's up, dude?
I'd like to say, though, you were talking about your inspiration in thrash. I could probably speak for most of us, and you and Slipknot, that's y'all is us. I mean, we feel the same way about you and Slipknot.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
And I think your cover of Rainbow in the Dark was a masterpiece.
Well, thank you.
And,
it wasn't going to come close to the original, but I did my best, man, so I appreciate that.
And then your work on Maybe It's Time with 6 AM.
Oh, yeah.
But what I was going to ask you, man, is I'm a beginner bass player. I can read tab and I can play a couple riffs, but I've got some ideas floating around in my head. What kind of advice would you give to somebody who does not know a thing about writing music?
About writing music?
Yeah, about writing music, writing lyrics, because I've got a few ideas floating around in my head I can't get out.
I mean, here's the thing about writing music. As long as you like what you're doing, it doesn't matter. You know, as long as you like, you know, putting 2 riffs together to make a song and you feel it, fuck everybody else, man. I mean, that's really where it's at, you know? I know people like to try and break it down and get all like weird and fucking theoretical and shit, but at the same time, there's something so simple about just putting a couple of riffs together and doing it and feeling it and letting that kind of create the song on its own, you know?
So that's my thing. I don't know.
Yeah, if you're feeling it, if you're feeling it, it doesn't matter. Just fucking run with it. Yeah.
I like it. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, man.
What's going on, Corey? So, your new mask in Slipknot reminds me a lot of Decker in Nightbreed.
Right.
So, was that an influence? And if it was, what other films specifically influenced you, your performance or your look?
Oh,
Just
absolutely. Yeah,
curious.
100%. There's definitely some Decker.
There's
there.
Decker in there?
Yeah, oh, of course. That's probably one of the sickest masks ever created, you know? And it's even more disturbing. It's not just that you can't see his eyes. It looks like somebody has taken and just pulled it, you know? So it's just kind of like, yeah, it's just fucking gnarly, right? The aesthetic there was definitely an influence. However, I took that and then mixed it with little elements from masks past. Like there's hints of All Hope Is Gone there. There are hints of Volume 3. There's some .5. There are little homages here and there because I didn't want it to look like Deckard's mask. I wanted it to look like there was something there, but it was also an evolution. And that's what my mask has always been an evolution of where I am in that moment, you know? And that's why they change from album to album. I'm never the same person from album to album. So I don't want my mask to be the same from album to album. And I know some people gravitate towards some masks more than others, but for me, that adds the human element to it. That adds the soul to it. Because if you don't do that, then it just becomes a sticker on a wall. And you don't want that. You want the music to evolve with you. So the imagery should evolve with you as well, you know? I know some of the guys in the band are very down with their masks. They make little subtle changes. But for me and for Clown and you know, some of the other guys, we just love seeing where our mind goes. So that's kind of where the new mask is.
Okay. Thanks.
No worries, man. Thank you.
Can I first of all just say thanks for coming out today, Corey?
Thanks for having me, man. I'm stoked to be here. It's been a really fucking good time. So I apologize to everyone for my coffee breath too. It's been pretty bad.
I actually have two questions. First of all, I was asking about it over at your booth earlier, but what is your favorite Slipknot album? And also, what is Slipknot's approach in the studio to, like, from a musician point of view, like, to writing music and coming up with the different ideas, and even in the past with Paul and Joey and all those other, you know?
Right. Well, to answer the first part first, my favorite Slipknot album. Oof. I mean, I would probably have to say the last one. We Are Not Your Kind. That one was so cathartic for me, especially just because of some of the shit that I'd been going through in my personal life. It was a way for me to purge a lot of toxicity and a lot of hell that I'd been through, man. You know, I had to say some shit, and I got to say it. But I will say this new album is fucking really, really good. And I'm really stoked for people to hear it. It's like a darker, slightly heavier version of Volume 3. There's a lot of like cool, and to me, it feels like a natural progression, you know. So I'm pretty stoked on that. Now, about working in the studio, I mean, when it comes to writing and stuff, it's always kind of come from somebody has an idea, we bring it in, and we just kind of all filter it through ourselves to create a song, you know? Like the song never sounds the same from the demo to the album. So there's really no right or wrong process, you know? If we're into it, and we start listening to it, we're like, oh, we can work with this. That's really where it kind of comes from. So with Paul and Joe, like they would bring, you know, some riffs in, and then we would kind of work them in a way where they evolved from the demo process, you know, so they would become a Slipknot song. Same with the stuff that I would write, and I would bring in, and I'd go, look, I know it's not gonna sound like this by the end. Let's, you know, kind of shove this through the Slipknot filter. And they would, you know, like a song like Lech, which was on .5, when I wrote it, it had much more of a kind of a driving, you know, kind of a sledgehammer feel. By the time we got it on the album, I mean, it was fucking crazy. I was just like, whoa, it. Like, it was rad, you know? So it all comes down to where we're at and what we can do with it, because it's always going to evolve.
Thank you.
Oh,
Hey, Corey.
Josh. God damn it.
Sorry, I got another one for you.
Oh, I can't wait.
Maybe if I had more than 30 seconds at a time with you, I'd be able to get them all out at once, but...
All right.
After all these years, 20 plus years of playing a lot of these songs, you know, some of them that you wrote so long ago, how do you muster up all the energy to play it like it's the first time after you've been playing these songs? And then you come out on stage and you still, for people who've seen you for the first time,
Right.
it still feels brand new to them. Like, how do you muster that up within yourself after you've sang this song over and over again?
I mean, that's a great question. A lot of it has to do with you guys. You know, I mean, the enthusiasm that we are met with night after night after night is so infectious that it makes me literally want to pull my head off and throw it in the fucking audience. I mean, I just lose my shit, you know? But that's also just how much I love what we get to do. And we were talking about this earlier when I was like, you know, I've played Wait and Bleed for over 25 years now.
When you played that on the show the
it's,
other week, that was...
it's a fucking, you know, there was a time where I was just like, oh, this fucking song. However, the second you get on stage and you just start that little low chorus and you see people light up like it's, you know, a Christmas tree in Times Square, who gives a shit how I feel? It's about you guys now. And that's why I still have that much passion. And you have to remember this, man. I mean, we're coming up on, what, almost third generation, which is crazy, which makes me old as fuck. But there are a lot of people who have never seen us live before, have never seen us, period. And when we get that response, that makes it all worthwhile. So it's like, if there's one person out there who hasn't seen us, I would be ripping them off. I'd be ripping myself off. I'd be ripping this band off by not giving 100%, because it's all about you guys when it comes to that show. So that's what's up.
Well, thank you. Keep it up, and we'll see you on the next one.
I'll do my best. Thank you, man.
Hey, Corey.
What's up, man?
I want to say thank you for not compromising your sound for your popularity. That means a lot to all aspiring musicians. But I do have a question, and that is, in the early days, how in the fuck did you guys survive the local club tours and the local club shows with 9 guys on those tiny stages?
That's a good question. I mean, we were talking about Ziggy's earlier. I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm fairly certain that we just all had hepatitis to begin with. You know? I mean, if you guys only knew some of the shit, are there kids in here? Earmuffs, because Uncle Corey's gonna talk some serious shit. The stuff that we used to do to each other, whether it was Clown going full Gigi Allen, just shitting in his hand, throwing it all over us, and that's real. And I mean, that asshole would he would wait until I was on the mic, and then he would come up and just do that with his shitty hand. Yeah, well, welcome to my life. And try singing while you're not vomiting. It was fucking crazy. Between that, being set on fire by those pricks. Oh yeah, fuck you. And just the all-around fact that we couldn't bathe for days, and when we did, it was like we were basically just kind of farming it out from a bathroom sink, you know? I mean, we're lucky to be alive, you know? I mean, some of us anyway. They were crazy days, but you know what? I wouldn't trade it for anything, because those were also some of the happiest days, because we were together, you know? We were earning it. We knew that getting signed wasn't the end-all be-all. We knew that was just the foot in the door. We knew we were gonna have to work our fucking asses off. We knew that we were gonna have to work 3 times harder than the band next to us, just because we were so different and we were so aggressive. And nobody knew what our future was. So just the fact that we were on the road together, it was the best times of our lives. It was probably the best year and a half of Slipknot's life, was earning that. So it was a
My condolences.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, I got one question. But first of all, I've always wanted to say this. What's up, Corey motherfucking Taylor, bro?
What's up, dude?
What's up?
He used my full name.
You wrote a book, you released it in 2017 called American 51, where you vomited very poetically your political views, which
Yeah.
I related to on many levels because you hit everybody equally.
Yeah.
And you also agreed equally on many things. Have you ever thought of running for office of any type?
No.
We need you.
No.
We need you.
For president.
Listen to me. There's no fucking way I would ever get past the first ballot. There's no way. Dude, all they would have to do is pull up some camera shit from 99 and we'd be done. We'd be screwed. No, man. You know, the thing to me, honestly, and this is true, I don't think I ever would want to do that because the second that happens, you kind of have to pretend to be a different person, you know? Whereas on the other side of that, just doing certain types of like charity work or working to try to raise awareness about certain things, which I've done in the past and still do to this day. That's where you make the real difference, is working to get people on the same page, not pulling them all of that book and keeping them separated, you know? I couldn't do it, you know? For me, it's more about trying to bring people together for a good cause. Coming down the pipe, maybe something like towards like the second half of the year. So, but nothing's booked yet. I know we've done festivals and stuff with them, and I know they've done some of the Not Fest shows and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely a possibility for that.
I think you would need to teach the children.
Yeah.
Yes, but anyway, my second question, and this might relate to a lot of people. It hits me personally.
Okay.
This is a hard one. When Joey passed, how did that feel? Because I know the way it hit me, and I know the way it might have hit a lot of people. But how did that hit you? And what did that speak to you on that kind of level?
That's a tough one. It hit me hard, even though I hadn't seen him or talked to him in a very long time. And I won't get into certain things, but I will say that it hit us all really hard. I mean, the first person that I called was Clown to make sure he was okay. Because those guys, I can remember going down and seeing them both at the gas station that Joey worked at, like way back in the day, and he would work the overnights. And when I wasn't working at the porn shop, I would go down, and they were always scheming. They were always sitting together scheming. It's like, Taylor, we got this fucking idea, all right? We're gonna set your face on fire. And I was like, no, you're really not gonna do that. And okay, just how are you gonna set my face on fire? And it was never a good idea. All that history and all the memories came back, man, you know? And his health was obviously part of that, you know? And it was sad, you know, because this man who was probably one of the most gifted people I'd ever seen in my life.
He really was.
It was far, far too soon. And it broke my heart, you know, regardless of what had gone down between us, it broke my heart. And yeah, it was a hard, it's still hard to think about, you know? Like it's still, I think about it now and it's like, it doesn't seem real. So it hit us just as hard. And you know, it's one of the reasons why we pay homage to him and Paul at the end of the show and make sure that people realize that even though he was gone, he was still part of the family, and he always will be.
Thank you for being open. I appreciate it.
I was gonna ask, do you have any advice for upcoming artists that are inspired by Slipknot?
I mean, honestly, even if you weren't inspired by Slipknot, it just, for upcoming artists, my whole goal is to try to bring this back. Technology has made it so easy to create, and yet it has sucked the soul out of the live side of making music and being able to just play, not only just play, but just as a band. There's a very unique energy that comes from being able to bounce things off of each other. There's a very unique sound, almost like a musical fingerprint that comes from amps pushing sound through air and creating a unique sound. Not everything has to sound the fucking same. Not every production has to sound the fucking same. Not every band has to sound the fucking same. So my advice is find your sound. Don't fucking settle for the sound they try to give you, whether it's through a computer or through a producer or, you know, sucking the fucking nuts off something and make it completely fucking flat. Fuck that. Fuck synthetic everything. Create your sound and never let anyone fucking tell you that it's wrong if it comes from the heart.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Beautiful.
My question was, what was your favorite video to shoot for Slipknot? What was your favorite music video to shoot?
Oh, dude, it was the first one. When we shot Spit It Out, we thought we had it made, dude. And then they banned the fucking thing on MTV. We were just like, here it comes! What? Yes. I can't tell you how many times I fell backwards down a flight of fucking stairs. I let Jim hit me with a baseball bat. For those of you who've never seen it, which is probably not a lot, we recreated The Shining for the Spit It Out video. So, and I, of course, was the Jack Nicholson character. So here comes Jim, dressed like fucking Shelley Duvall. He kept hitting me with the fucking bat, and I kept having, and we didn't have stunt people. So now I'm just trying not to break my fucking neck rolling back, like down the stairs backwards. And he was like, okay, we're gonna do it again. I was like, what the fuck? It fucking hurt, dude. So we finally got to number 7, and he goes, well, and I said, fuck you! I was like, I'm not fucking doing this again. So we went through all of that. We got a shot, we saw it, we were stoked, this is fucking great, and then they didn't play the son of a bitch. And I was like, I hate you. It was so fucking infuriating, I can't even tell you. But we had so much fun making that video. We watched them create the maze, the snow maze, in this hallway. Like, that's all fucking fake, but it looks like very real. And we watched them build it in this hallway, in the same hallway that I chopped through the door. Like, as soon as I was done chopping through the door, it's like, okay, that's a take. Okay, we gotta get this out of here. We gotta get this fucking snow. And we just like, all of a sudden it was just like, whoa, dude. We're making a movie. I mean, it was crazy, dude. And it was so fulfilling, and so it just felt so gratifying to see this vision put together. I'm almost glad that MTV didn't play it, because it would have wasted a good fucking video on a shitty channel.
Corey Taylor, what's up, man?
What's up, Buzz?
So, Slipknot's pulled me through all kinds of different times in my life. Stone Sour's provided me with plenty of speeding tickets. And Corey motherfucking Taylor, you wrote that song, Be Your Lover Too, something me and my wife.
Song 3, yeah.
Got involved with you and I'm also a big hip hop fan.
Right.
And I know you did some things with Tech Nine. Do you plan on dabbling more into the hip hop scene, or is that anything in
I've done, yeah, man. I mean, it all comes down to the people who hit me up, you know? I love old school hip hop. I love the shit that makes me feel something. So, the Kid Bookie, who I worked with on CMFT, I also did a song called Stuck in My Ways. I just did a new one with him that comes hard, dude. I mean, it fucking comes hard, and it's probably gonna come out in the next 4 or 5 months. And it's fucking savage. So I love that shit. You know, I mean, growing up, dude, some of my favorite groups were, I mean, fucking, I studied NWA like it was the Sabruder film. Like, I loved that album, you know? So that shit, obviously old school Run DMC, which just sounded so fucking rad, you know? That was my shit. So anytime I get to do some stuff like that, I'm all about it. I don't have anything planned yet, aside from the Kid Bookie song, but man, like, I'm always down to do some shit like that.
Thank you so much. I'll see you in North Charleston.
All right, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, Corey Taylor,
Hi. Yeah.
I've been listening.
That's right.
That's okay. She's good.
I've been listening to you every single day in the car since I was in kindergarten, and now I'm in 5th grade, halfway done. And what's your favorite movie?
What's my favorite movie?
Yeah, like
Scary movie?
huh?
Oh, Halloween 78, 100%.
What's up, you sexy motherfucker? First of all, say you have an amazing, beautiful.
You've been a problem all day, sir.
I fucking love you. I can't help it. Okay, I got 2 questions. First of all, how the fuck did you sing whenever you broke your neck? Like, how did that turn out?
Shit, dude,
I'm sorry to bring it up.
That's a long, no, it's fine. I mean, for those of you who don't know, I had a spinal injury that I ended up having to get surgery, emergency surgery for, because the whole right side of my body was losing strength. I was almost incontinent. Like, I had such a bad injury that my doctor asked me if I'd been in a car accident. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, and I'd been tooling around like a fucking dickhead for 20 years, just doing all that shit. I just made it worse. After I had the surgery, they told me I couldn't headbang. They told me I couldn't really do it ever, and I was like, well, that's not gonna happen. So you give me a time limit, and then I'll make it there, which is why I had to do the tours with the neck brace, just to keep me, because I needed that, because my whole urge, my natural urge is to just fucking slam and go crazy with it. It was weird. But it also taught me that I didn't need to do that to be able to do a Slipknot show. So it was a good learning experience, and I'm glad that I'm healthy, you know? That's the most important thing.
And second off, when are you going to collab with Five Finger Death Punch?
That's a good question.
Like, will that ever happen?
I don't know. I mean, they've never really asked me, so, and I've never really gone to them. I don't know. You never say never.
You sexy beast. So, first of all, did Ralph Macchio teach you not to age?
I'm sorry, what?
Did Ralph Macchio teach you how not to age?
Did Ralph Macchio teach me how to not age? No, Paul Rudd did. For those of you that don't know, I'm 48 years old, and I may not look it, but my fucking bones feel it, all right? I'm getting shit done in my knees just so I can walk around like a human.
How did you get, before I forget, into Guitar Hero 3?
They asked. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy. I mean, if they come to you and they're like, hey, will you fucking, I'm like, yeah, dude, let's fucking do this. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. See ya.
All right. Yeah. So
that dude's a character and a half.
What's up, dude?
Hey, I know you love horror movies and you've been in a few and you've written a few. So I just want to know which one pulls at you more. Is it the artistic expression in the music, or is it being able to express yourself in like a horror movie that you love?
That's a good question, man. I mean, I think we, as all of us here being horror fans, I'm sure there's something that we all love a little differently about the genre. You know, for me, it's always been waiting for that moment in the movie, you know, and it's always different, whether it's, you know, something that's not quite a jump scare, but it should be, or it's something as stark as, you know, there's that great scene in Hollywood 78 when she's leaned up against the fucking door frame and all of a sudden the light comes up and you just see his face come up behind her. That fucked me up when I was a kid. I mean, it was and that may have been why I was so desperate to join Slipknot like 40 years later. However, it's stuff like that, you know? I can't name one thing, but I can say my attraction to horror, my obsession with horror, all comes down to that one moment. And it's different in every movie, and it's different in every fucking, like, sort of movie, you know, whether it's gonzo horror, or, you know, comedic horror, or, you know, what I like to call Oscar horror now, which is, you know, the shit that's so serious you can't fucking, you know, thread a needle with it. But there's always that one moment that grabs you and you're like, oh, fuck, there it is, you know, and you hold on to that and you just file it with all of your great memories, and it just comes up, you know, and it just inspires you in all kinds of different ways.
All right.
All right. What's up, bud?
It's me for like the fourth time. So on the upcoming tour, could we expect to see some songs that have maybe never been played live before?
Oh, it's a good question. I will tell you this, that you're gonna see some songs that haven't been played live in a very long time, straight up. I just redid the set, and we're dusting some stuff off, and we're bringing out some, not only some old school shit, but some stuff that people have been asking for a long time, and I'm gonna make them play it. Let's put it that way.
Scissors!
All right, you're welcome.
Oh, yeah!
The name.
Hi, Corey.
Hi.
That would be
So,
killer.
I'm just a new fan here. I've only gotten into your music in this past year thanks to my husband and his brother. They've listened to you forever.
Nice.
And anyway, I just wanted to say we went to your concert back in October, and I've been to a couple concerts in my lifetime, which is not very long. But you just have the best voice ever.
Oh, thank
you for your music and for still putting out that energy that you had all those years ago. We love it so much. Sorry, that came out wrong. I didn't
That's the
mean
most
to.
backhanded compliment.
I'm sorry.
No, we all know I'm fucking old as shit.
No, like that other guy said, you look like you're my age, 22. Amazing.
Well, okay, that's the biggest lie you've ever told me in your fucking life.
I really do, from this distance. I'm sorry, I'm just doing the worst job ever.
Security!
One of the last ones, it had to be me, okay?
Okay, kick ass.
But anyway, like I said, I love how you, like in Wait and Bleed, how you go from your lovely, soothing voice to that really, you know, rough, scary voice. It's just amazing. Thank you for everything.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure getting to know
I
you.
appreciate it.
Okay?
All right.
Oh, one more question, okay?
That wasn't a question.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was just complimenting you and offending you at the same time.
No, it's all good. No, we've had a rainbow feeling to
Yeah,
it.
that's basically what I bring to the table. You mentioned that you like Metallica, so I want to know what's your favorite song?
Oh, Disposable Heroes. That fucking, yeah. That song, the second, you guys gotta remember, when that album came out, I was young and I walked to buy the tape at the local Sam Goody, which for some of you is a fucking record store. And it's a longer story than I want to get into. So I walked to the local mall to buy the tape at Sam Goody, and I had my fucking Walkman with me. And I listened to it all the way. I love, side one is fucking clinic. Such a clinic. Classic, so rad. And then I flipped the tape, and that first song is fucking Disposable Heroes, and all of a sudden I just had my head ripped off. And I was just like, this is the greatest fucking song. I mean, that riff is so stupid rad. I can't even fucking explain it. And it just kept, this song just kept building and building and building. And yeah, to this day, it's my favorite fucking Metallica song. It's so rad.
Thank you again. I hope
You're
to see you
welcome.
again at your next concert.
All right, on. Big ass.
What's good, Holmes? I have a movie question for you.
Okay.
We spoke earlier about In Search of Darkness, part 1 and 2. Love that shit, it's good shit. As far as horror goes, you mentioned Dario Argento on like the Italian side of horror. Do you think American horror is scarier, or do you think other it's like Dario Argento or something like the Japanese horror?
That's a good question, man.
American horror is supreme, or is the foreign stuff like?
You can definitely tell. I mean, that's kind of the cool thing, though. You can definitely tell the different countries, the different flavors of horror. Really, depending on the country. The thing that I've noticed is that certain areas, regions, there are almost hallmarks that kind of come along with their brands of horror. Like with Italian horror, there's a lavishness and almost it's like a saturation of color, but there's also such a disturbing, there's a moment that just grabs you. Yeah, I don't know what fucking Fulci's hard-on is for eyeballs, but Jesus Christ. I mean, I remember when I first saw Zombie, just that second when it's so uncomfortably long, just hits the back of her head and it's just pushing her slowly but surely. I'm like, could you just get it over with? I mean, it's so gnarly, right? But that has such a rad, Italian feel to it. The Japanese horror is so stark and quiet. It's the silence that pulls you in, and then all of a sudden, it's just that explosion of violence. And it's very reminiscent of how they approach feeling in their culture. They're very reserved, but man, when they unleash, there's so much passion that comes from the Japanese fans. And that's just coming from a band standpoint, watching them live. It's crazy. And then you get to America, where it's just it's almost like a buffet at a casino. You're just like, we're gonna give you fucking everything, and you're just like, okay, I'll take it all, So it's rad. It's a great. I can't say I prefer any one because I love so much about so much of all of it. Even UK horror is. I mean, there's such a cool, distinct feature in UK horror that. I don't know what it is. There's a gruff attitude, and yet such a great blast of gore that comes with it. So I just love the fact that horror is one of those genres that you can feel the ethnicity behind it, the region behind it, and the culture. And it's so rad. It just means we all win at the end of the day because there's so many great fucking movies. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Of course. Mini Corey. What's up, bud?
What up, man? 10 fucking years, bro. So, this is a two-part question, man. How the fuck do you sing out of these things? God damn.
I breathe through my eyes.
Crazy. So, for all the wrestling fans in the room that don't know, me and you were talking about you smacking the fucking shit out of Baron Corbin earlier. I gotta ask, man, will we ever see Slipknot play at WrestleMania?
Oh, shit. I don't know. I mean, it'd be rad. As a fucking, no fucking way. They won't even let Metallica play the Super Bowl. You think they're gonna let our fucking crazy asses up there? Yeah. All the fucking beer ads and shit would pull out like that. Now WrestleMania though, that is possible because I mean, we've had a relationship with NXT, obviously. I have a relationship with some of the guys at WWE. I'm a massive fucking wrestling fan. I have been for years. I've personally marked out on so many people that made them uncomfortable sometimes, and that's fine. I don't give a shit. You never know, man. I mean, if we ever got the opportunity, I know there was talk of me doing something at WrestleMania a couple of years ago, but obviously the pandemic happened. that kind of went on the back burner for a lot of shit. And then obviously stuff just changed and, kind of moved on. But if H made the call and we were able to do it, heartbeat. I'd be so fucking rad.
The second part to the question was, man, we saw Johnny Knoxville, we got Who the Gives a Fuck About Drew Carey, but Corey Taylor in the Royal Rumble is a special guest. Man, we'd all want to see you get hit by.
Now, hold on a second. You can't shit on Drew Carey in the Royal Rumble because that was one of the best entrances. He comes out and he's so stoked, and then all of a sudden Kane shit hit. I have never laughed so hard in my life. I was like, this is amazing. And then he just fucking evades all of it and eliminates himself.
And he was trying to get the fucking Hardy Boys to come back in there. He's like,
oh, it was great. It was so fucking good. Yeah. I've been offered to work matches, and I've said the same thing then, and I'm going to say now. I have too much respect for the craft, and physically I can't. If I was gonna do it, I would go all out, and I physically can't do it anymore. It's hard enough for me to do Slipknot shows, let alone work a match, even with somebody who could make me look amazing. I can't do it, and I would never disrespect their craft by assuming that I could. And the only way I would do it is if I knew we could put on a fucking show for everybody. So I'm just happy being a part of it, just up there fucking, lending my music, singing tunes, and whatever. If they ever need me to smack Baron Corbin again, I'd totally do it. I'll call Tom. I'll call Tom right now and be like, we need to recreate this shit and just fucking make it cool, But I have too much respect for what they do to assume that I could be able to do it because I'm just not trained, man. And I wouldn't want to do it half-assed.
It'd just be fucking cool to see you.
Yeah, it'd be fucking rad, but
The Undertaker, dude?
He's the shit. I am not. Let's put it that way.
I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, man. All right.
All right, well, Corey, thank you for coming down here this evening. Thanks for being here this weekend. We managed to get everyone around a question. That's pretty amazing. So thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Please give a big round of applause for Corey Taylor.
That was awesome. Killer. That was killer. Awesome. Killer. Yeah.